Um, this is just something I wanted to share because it's the truth. And I've shared the same thing in other videos that I did on my other channels, how simple it actually is. But I start with being at 4 years of age when I had this Christos avatar up and running as fast as I possibly could. And I acknowledged, number one, because I'm doing a map read, I'm map reading a newspaper. Okay, so it means I'm map reading the consciousness terrain to know that it's distorted. I'm not supposed to experience anything less what pure, eternal, absolute love is. It's on fire to create. Right? So I knew I was on fire. Eternal spirit of fire. That's as pure as it gets. That's pure love. It does not get any hotter than that. That's what purifies us. That's what purifies our blood. That's what purifies our circulation libraries of what we're holding in memory as a result of what? Trauma. So this is where it gets back to electrons. Letting go of all your electrons. The more electrons you're letting go of, what happens? Your accretion levels go up. Now you're a bigger capacitor on a motherboard. Yeah. So when you experience being the collective consciousness of all there is, then you're experiencing being one with all there is. So the two becomes one and the one becomes the all creation. That means you represent the entire electromagnetic spectrum in consciousness because there isn't any separation between what? The electric and the magnetic. You are both. Two becomes one. That's the first Christic spiral. And that's basic logic, the eternal spirit of fire, which means you cannot put that spark out. So I realized as a child, and I've talked about this before, I'm letting go of what? Electrons as fast as I possibly can so that I'm losing matter, which means I'm gaining speed, going vertical, altitude density. And so what I realize is that as a child, I don't want to hold any electrons captive. Well, then you're going to have to give all your energy away. That means you're not going to have anything you're holding in memory, like shoes and vehicles and houses and everything else that we use that we take from nature to build a Truman Show. So you know that it was built on fake and illusion. Deadlight, a deadlight engine. Well, I'm being held captive by a deadlight engine. That's the illusion. That's a phantom matrix. Well, I'm not what that is. That's called knowing one from the other. The first electron. The first electron donor. So you know the speed at which eternity runs, right? So now we're back to the vampire chasing the artist, the original artist, an original sound recorder, right? So you know that if you're an original artist, we don't follow other artists, do we? Nope. It's unnecessary because we're an individuated unit, right, of the collective consciousness of creation. So we're co-creating as co-creators with the grand creator. Because what we're creating is what love is, because that's what we are. So when the eternal spirit of fire is on fire to create, you're on fire to create. And the engine that we use to create with is what? The eternal engine of fire, which is pure absolute love. That means that what I create by what I experience in my mirror is experiencing what I am, which is what love is. Wow. You created something out of pure energy. Yeah, because that's what we are. Pure love energy. Love is what love creates. Angelic realities. Angles of light. Angles of communication. The first line of communication. So the more we're giving away, the faster we're gone. Because we don't want to be held captive by what? Matter. I'm a light spirit body. Oversoul consciousness. Transmutation machine. Getting rid of what does not serve us through technologies that are creating imbalances, distortions in the sound waves, because the consciousness field is distorted which are mutations, which are muted mics. So they are not experiencing the one, the first microphone, the first signet, which is the first signature, the first signal of the sound and light field, the first sound recorder movie, creating movies, creating stories that we live in and share with our children. So now our children are experiencing what we are, which is what love is. So that child is experiencing the innocence of awareness. Because that child is experiencing what we are, which is what love is, which is pure, absolute love that's on fire to create. Now that child is on fire because the child is experiencing the innocence of awareness. Whoa, that's 2 + 1 is 3. Yeah, 300 to 1, 1 in 300. The relationship between the hottest fire and the coldest temp. Having a relationship with each other to be in perfect balance. That means our consciousness is in perfect balance with all the waves of consciousness that represent the collective consciousness of all there is. That's the all creation tree of life communication platform that began out of what pure, eternal, first internal star, a crystal star, the liquid consciousness of silver and gold, braided together, never separated from each other to experience the purity of that love. That's what we experience being with the one we're with. That's knowing the first one from the other. That's knowing one spiral from the other. We're not the other spiral, and why as a child, I'm not what that is. I am what love is, and that's not what love is. That means we know the difference in the torque speed between what is and what isn't what love is. Now we're mapping the field with our love engine, bringing the purity of that love anchored to Mama's magnetosphere in order to do what? Accelerate the speed in which we're healing by anchoring those powerful energies in here from a non-fallen matrix. And what does that do? That is pulling fragments in and healing souls, sounding souls that are healing souls, and we are pulling fragments in to feel whole again, to experience the Trinity wave of being one with all creation. And why, as an individuated unit, that I am with all creation as a co-creator is what frees us, because the eternal spirit of fire is on fire to create. So love is what frees us to create. That is a free spirit that is not held captive by a fallen system, feeding on our energy. So it's about healing, and healing at the highest rate of speed. That's why we're here. We love you all. Be good to yourselves. Mua Kira Sha. I am Pink Sha.